Crown Green Bowls, introduced by Gerald Davis, with commentary by Hugh Johns.
Again, and welcome to the British Open Pairs competition at the Midland Bank Crown Green Bowls Festival at Rhyl. We're at the quarter-final stage. Brian and Kevin Whitlow from Chester and Jim Rowson and Tommy Rothwell from Lee have already made it to the semis. There was a sensation in the third quarter-final when Harry Littlefair and John Clark were deemed by the organisers to have deliberately thrown their match against the Wrexham pair Malcolm Mitchell and Roger Crowther. It had been alleged that the Warrington pair did this because they weren't able to attend the semi-finals. However, they could have hoped to earn a larger share of the prize money from losing their quarter-final than if they'd pulled out after winning their previous match. Jackie Hunt, who doubled up as tournament director as well as our commentator, explained to Hugh Johns when he first became suspicious.
Well, I had a feeling in the end of the second set, but certainly it was more apparent in the third set. When Littlefair and Clark were 7-3 up, and he had at least 15 or 20 yards to get in, and he threw his ball off the green.
Yeah, well, they'd already struck, and the bowls were left in the middle of the crown, right out in the middle of the green, and the block, the jack itself, was way out towards the ditch. Anything within 20 yards of that jack would have won it and won the match as well.
Absolutely, yes, and there was certainly no reason why he couldn't get another one, and he's deliberately thrown his bowl into the gutter.
Then after that, Clark, who had been leading for that pair particularly well, did you feel that he was dropping them short deliberately?
Oh yes, there's no doubt about that. He had been playing consistently well throughout the first two sets, and then suddenly he started playing 10-15 yards short.
Why was this happening? Were you aware that there might have been something like this happening insofar as Clark not wanting to play any further than that particular round?
Well, yes, we did know that he had problems on the Thursday, but he gave us a total commitment that he could make it on the Thursday. And it was quite apparent when his bowling was deliberately going short that he was throwing the game.
And even further on then into the match, Harry Littlefair started to run with his bowls. Why do you think he was doing that, Jack?
Well, he was deliberately trying to get within a metre of the bowls, and he knew that Wilf Oak, the referee, would warn him and then finally kick the ball off. And Wilf, in fact, did give him a first warning.
But in fact didn't on that occasion kick the ball out, so they're still left in a winning situation, or getting close to winning, right at the very end. And again, Harry Littlefair started to run with his bowl, didn't he?
He did indeed, yes. And it was on the last end when Crowther and Mitchell were lying two in. Littlefair has got one ball to come, and he's played what looked like a good bowl. And he's got so close to it and deliberately stamped on the ball. And then he knew it was a dead ball. And therefore, there's no doubt in my mind that the game was thrown.
So Littlefair and Clark were thrown out of the competition, a move that was later backed by the Crown Green Bowling Association. They banned the pair from competition sine die, with no appeal available until this time next year. Malcolm Mitchell and Roger Crowther, who'd won that quarter-final, sportingly agreed to replay their quarter-final against John Sparks and Roger Stanworth from Mould, who'd originally been beaten in the previous round. And we'll see that match later in the programme. On first, though, to the scheduled fourth quarter-final between another Welsh pair, Julian Parry and Gordon Carpenter from Denbigh, and another Warrington duo, Mal Cook and Charlie Bebbington. We join it at the start, the Welsh pair in blue.
Afternoon sun having disappeared, the cool of the evening setting in here at Rhyl, and the call for high tea and supper taking quite a lot of the audience away. Julian Parry's first bowl. Getting a knock on the red ball, but Charlie Bevington going through and out the back, and is not featuring in the count at the moment. It's long loping stride of Julian Parry, gallops after his ball. And that slowed him up nicely, getting that touch, and drops in. And predominantly Welsh holiday crowd here in Rhyl cheering the blue bowls of the Welsh partnership, but that's a super reply then from Mal Cook, his first bowl. This is Gordon Carpenter, who, like his partner Julian Parry, plays for the Colwyn Bay Conservative Club. Got a good strike there. Trickles the jack away, runs after it, and is holding the shot.
Mal Cook firing at the blue ball.
So, a definite start of 1 for Julian Parry and Gordon Carpenter. And Gordon trying to trickle this one in for a second. It looks good.
Well played.
Yes, it's 2. So Parry and Carpenter take a 2-0 lead.
Julian Parry setting a mark just over the crown. Walsh County player. Julian Parry, very good leader of the jack. As that ball proves, that's a great ball.
Charlie Bevington, a little heavy then. In fact, quite a lot heavy. Nice relaxed style from Julian Parry. The more experienced of the 2 Welsh bowlers. He's been bowling for about 15 years. His partner Gordon Carpenter, about half that time. Charlie Bevington really chasing that in and deserved a little better for his effort. Julian saying to Gordon that he'd prefer to see a bowl around the back at some stage now, or drop it in the road. Well, it could be in the road. It's difficult to see on the angle we're at. Well, that's an inviting target for Mal Cook to aim at. The 2 blue bowls just in front of the jack.
Well, Julian Parry says we need one round the back now.
He's not going to get it.
No, he's played short. Disappointed with that.
Well, it's got to come with some weight from Big Mal Cook. Oh, and he missed the target altogether. So 2 more for the Welsh pairing. Parry and Carpenter take a 4-0 lead.
We rejoin it at 5-1.
Julian Parry cutting the mark down, playing right into the centre of the green.
The highest portion of the green. That's a good one. Charlie Bevington stopping about a foot short. That's a pair of good balls from Charlie Bevington.
Yes,
Both of them counting.
Not easy to beat in that position because they're directly in front of the jack from where Gordon Carpenter is standing. He's played a little bit short anyway. Big chance for Mal Cook to make it 3 here. Needs to be running.
Well, as long as he beats the front blue ball, Mal Cook should get 3 out of this.
Just done it.
3 it is. So the Warrington pair draw back, and they're only 5-4 down now.
Well, Parry and Carpenter soon got back into their stride, and we rejoined the play with the Denby pair leading 7-4.
Well, before this game started, Cook and Bevington would have been big favourites to win this match, but at the moment they're struggling a bit.
And this first set very much within the grasp of Parry and Carpenter now. They're looking for 2 more scores. If they bowl like that, they'll pick them both up on this particular mark. Yeah, that's a good reply. That looks to be a bit tight.
Yes, depends on his length.
It stood up well for him.
Oh, Charlie Bevington just needs a trickle on the block to make himself 2. Can he do it? Trying hard. And he's done it. Brilliant ball.
Time for Gordon Carpenter to pull something out, but his line is tight too. Mal asked to drop one a little bit short. No, he didn't get in far enough. He needed it closer to the jack in front to try and block the road up of Gordon Carpenter, but he's gone way out the back. Well, now Mal Cook should be able to get 3 out of this. If he misses his... Oh, no, he didn't. 2 it is for the red partnership of Charlie Bevington and Mal Cook. Well, that closes the gap up. Parry and Carpenter, their lead cut down to 1 shot at 7-6.
Charlie Bevington setting the mark. Not going right into the corner, but mark about 35-40 yards. Very determined character, Charlie Babington. See the expression on his face and determination at times. But he's lost his way with that ball.
It looks useful from Julian Parry. Charlie giving that a little bit more land. But it won't come in from there. Now start working. Bend and run, bend and run. Nope.
Well, Cook needs to run this time. He'll be disappointed with that.
Yes, he turned his back on it. That'll do for two, surely. Well, it looks like two from here. We'll get an indication, I think, if this doesn't do anything, because they need two for the set. And the fact that Gordon Carpenter is about to bowl. No, he's not going to bowl. It is the two they need. And Julian Parry and Gordon Carpenter win this first set, 9-6.
A fine start then by the Welsh pair. We'll see if they can keep it up after this short break.
For the kind of houses you'd leave home for, read New Country Homes and Interiors. First issue out now.
The Beavers Group of estate agents with over 100 offices dedicated to selling houses quickly. Look for the Beavers sign or dial 100 and ask for free phone Beavers.
We met Iris and Jeff on holiday 2 years ago and got on really well. But when we went to their house, it was different. Things were sort of, you know, awkward. Anyway, she started laying the tea and brought in this beautiful trifle in a cut glass bowl. But as she brought it in, she dropped it, and it went everywhere. And for a moment, she sort of just sat there and covered her face. And then she laughed. Well, we all mucked in to help, and that really broke the ice. It made us all feel at home with each other again.
Stork Special Blend Margarine. Everyone feels at home with Stork.
Welcome back, and so on to the second set of Julian Parry and Gordon Carpenter's quarterfinal against Charlie Babington and Mal Cook. The Blues, Parry and Carpenter, lead 1-0. We join the second set at the start.
So Julian Parry sets the mark in this second set.
Yes, and further explanation that he isn't setting them on the block because they won the last one. It's because it was his turn. The players toss at the beginning of the match as to who shall have first use of the block. Their opponents have it for the second set, and then they toss again if it's necessary to have a third set. Didn't really want to drag it back that far, I'm sure. He's taken it away from his first bowl. Well, that's gone well out. Kind of afford to bowl with just a little bit of weight onto that front bowl. As long as he hits it. Yes, he does.
Oh, very good ball.
Certainly in for 2, possibly 3. Mal Cook taking his jacket off now. Oh, and he's done the blue bowls a great favour. I should have thought that they are now 3. The Colwyn Bay partners. And it's discussion time for them.
Discussion time.
I would think take 3, drop one round the back just in case that jack is knocked away. Although I think it's very difficult for Mal Cook to get through, to strike and hit the block.
That's right. I think the only thing he could do is to promote his own front red ball. However, they are playing, as you suggested, round the back.
Well, they've now got the best back bowl. Mal Cook bowling with a little bit of fire. Has he hit anything? He has. So he wound up saving 1, but the Blues scored 2, and they take a 2-0 lead here in the second set.
Well, things are looking quite good for Julian Parry and Gordon Carpenter at the moment, having won the first set and playing very well in the second. Julian Parry playing good leads, Gordon Carpenter either covering or playing good back bowls. At the moment, it's a very good combination.
This the furthest they've ever been, Jack, they were telling me, in a pairs competition. They don't play all that often together.
No. Well, indeed, in this competition, they've certainly played well. Maybe they should play together more often. Nice ball from Charlie Babington, just scraped past the front blue ball. Now, is Julian any further with this ball?
Needs to pass his own ball, he has. And I don't think he's beaten the red ball. It's a... If nothing else happens, I would say it's a measure for those 2 balls. But we still have 5. Still 5 balls to be delivered. No change. Charlie has a look. You can't tell by his face whether he thinks he is in or out at the moment. Gordon Carpenter needs to hit something to stay on the green. No, he doesn't. Oh, what a beauty. Julian Parry, off picture at that moment, put his hands together and looked up in the sky and said thank you.
Very, very difficult playing at the back, Hugh, when there's so many balls there in the front of you. You try to squeeze yourself through the gaps, or you've got to play the other peg. It's very, very difficult playing at the back.
Go on, run. A lot of pressure on Mal Cook now.
Well, Charlie Babington's trying to weigh up the situation to tell his partner what to do, but he's having difficulty here.
I think we're definitely 2 down. Do you think you could come through there now? Just try and get it through there.
Mal, a very experienced bowler. reached the Whitley finals this year. Yes, it is 2. And Parry and Carpenter take a 4-0 lead here in the second set.
Play evened out then, with Bebbington and Cook at last getting their game together. The Welshmen, though, still lead 7-3 going into the 7th end.
Charlie rather confused people at that moment by looking very solidly into one corner and then putting the block into another one. Certainly delivered a cracking good opening ball to that mark. It's a bit tight by Julian Parry.
Needs to run away.
Well, it'll do for 2 at the moment.
Julian Parry on a good line. If his length's right. Well, he's just short, so therefore he's narrowed a little bit.
Mel taking a wider line. And Julian Parry indicated to his partner that's the sort of land he ought to be taking. Now, if he's got the legs, he's on. If he's got the legs, he's in. Just stop short. That's a nice line. If it stands up now, ooh. Yes, it's in for 2. Good Carpenter. Just needs a little bit more on his first ball, taking the same line. The line looks right.
Nice line, if his length's right.
Little tickle there would be useful. Oh. Well, that worked a treat for him. A single for the Parry-Carpenter pairing takes them to 8-3. So the Welsh partnership of Parry and Carpenter now just 1 score away from winning the match.
It's a nice length from Julian Parry.
It's dropped away out.
Needs to urge it on.
Charlie desperately needing to get one in tight here. And he's got it.
Well played.
Gordon Carpenter, who tells me that he doesn't get a lot of time to play bowls. Only able to play in this competition because he's taken a little bit of holiday. Yes. Lovely ball. Well, with just 1 ball left, it'll take something quite extraordinary from Gordon Carpenter to change the situation.
Now, Mal Cook has really got to try his best to get another point here.
Yes, they're counting 2. And they're 5 behind at 8-3. Now, has it stayed in to count? It looks as though it has. And it's 3. So that does tighten things up.
Charlie Babington at this stage desperately needs a good lead. Oh, can he run? No, he's left it short, 2 yards short.
Julian Parry then. Oh, that's not bad at all. It's got a long, long way to run, that. No way. Well, it's all down to Mal Cook now. If the Warrington partnership are to stay alive in this match. Could have done without that.
Leave that alone. Touch that.
Great deal of authority about the instructions of Julian Parry.
Oh, it's all resting on Mal Cook's last ball now.
Yes, if this doesn't do anything, Julian Parry and Gordon Carpenter.
Done his own ball? No, unlucky.
Well, that's the end of the match. Gordon Carpenter doesn't have to bowl his last one. That was a little bit of bad luck on Mal Cook's part. Nevertheless, a good win for Parry and Carpenter. They go through into the semi-finals 9-6, 9-6.
Wales sure then of one semi-final place, and local interest was also revived with the entry of John Sparks and Roger Stanworth from Mould into the void left by the disqualification of Clark and Littlefair. And they took first blood against Malcolm Mitchell and Roger Crowther, the sporting Wrexham pair. As we join the action, Sparks and Stanworth lead by 3 shots to 1.
So Roger Stanworth sets this mark now with a new set of bowls.
That's a very good ball from Roger Stanworth. It's quite a swing off the crown here, and you need to be really dead on line. This ball looks short. Although it's fast in this corner, it won't run that sort of distance.
With making the point, Jack, that this green is in super nick, isn't it?
Oh, it is indeed. It's the best condition I've ever seen it. And the bowls have certainly been throwing compliments to the greensman here in Rhyl. So much so, they've had a whip round for him here.
Yes, he deserves the praise.
Well, Malcolm Mitchell short again here and off the land. Roger Sparks may make another.
Yes, the Reds have definitely got 2. And Roger Crowther. Room to come in on what for him is a forehand draw, as it were. Being a left-hander. Needs a lot of bend now and a lot of running.
1 yard. Well, that's nearly a length, so it depends how you
John Sparks Holding 2.
John Sparks after his ball. Looks a little bit wide. He needs to run away.
Driving it in almost with remote control at the moment.
And he's made one. Good ball.
Yes. John Sparks is an entertaining character with his gyrations on the green. And Roger Crowther driving in after that ball. It's gone out. I should think it may have saved one. I don't know. Well, they still think 3. 3 for the Reds. Yeah, Roger Stanworth and John Sparks go in front very comprehensively, 6-1.
Roger Stanworth really setting a very long mark this time.
Yes, we're talking about something around about the 50-yard mark, I would think, Jack.
Yes, indeed, at least 50 yards. And this is rather surprising to me because Stanworth and Sparks usually play shorter lengths. I feel what they've done, they've really done the homework on Roger Crowther and Malcolm Mitchell, because they realise that they've played shorter marks throughout this tournament. And they've decided to have a go in the corners.
Well, Malcolm was certainly not prepared to be short with that ball. It's in and winning it at this moment. I feel Roger Stanworth has got the line. Has he got the legs? Yes, he has. Malcolm's cut that one very, very tight. Is he going to stand up? Yes. Last ball is the winner at the moment. John Sparks' chance to change things.
Well, he's on a good line. His
That's the
length's
winner.
right. Well played.
Really getting some fine bowls in this match.
I think the two people at the back are playing very, very well indeed. John Sparks and Roger Crowther. They've played some super balls. Bit narrowed that time, Roger. John Sparks chases this one in again.
Now look for him to drive it in with his shoulders and his legs. Sideways stance, crabbing it. Go on, run, 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 run. Well, I wonder if there's any change. No, no change, just one.
Well, if Roger Crowther could get hold of the jack, there's a possibility of 3 here.
He's not too far away. He's going to hit something. Well, they were 1 down, the Blues, and that ball didn't work for Roger Crowther. In fact, it's 2 now to Roger Stanworth, John Sparks, and they're 8-1 in front.
And the Mole pair collected the 1 shot they needed to take the first set on the very next end. So on to set 2. And this time it's Mitchell and Crowther who make the running. They lead 2-0 going into the 3rd end.
Malcolm Mitchell. He and his partner, Huddersfield players, both play for the Longwood Bowling Club.
It's interesting with Malcolm Mitchell, you having said earlier that he plays the flat green game, he tends to play short, good drawing marks, which is very similar to the flat green game. So he's picked that habit up from there. He doesn't tend to play straight, long type of marks. That's another good ball.
Yes, good straddle there. 1 over, 1 under.
Pace looks right here. Roger Stanworth. A little bit narrowed. It's fallen the wrong way for him. Left 2.
Roger Crowther's ball on its way. That's a fine ball. Something for John Sparks to try and sort out. Crowther really throwing a challenge down to him. Oh, he didn't want to do that. The Blues now holding 2.
Doing well again. Well
Oh,
played.
yes. Marvellous bowling. John Sparks, what does he do here, Jack? I mean, you know this chap's bowling pretty well, don't you? From personal experience fairly recently?
I do indeed. He hammered me a few weeks ago in a qualifying tournament for the Yorkshire Bank competition, and he represented Wales at the Waterloo in Blackpool. He's a very, very good player and one of the most improved players I've seen over the last 2 or 3 years. And I rate him very highly, but he's certainly got a problem here. I think the red ball is in the way to have a heavy strike. He may try and come round the other way to try and save.
He could possibly bowl a little strength if he came the other hand onto his bowl at about 7 o'clock from the block and try and get a wick in off it.
That's right. Well, he's certainly not played a heavy strike. He's trying to save. He's a little bit wide. He'll be disappointed
right out,
with
yes. Well, it's definitely 3. That's 3 kicked out. And Mitchell and Crowther running away with his second set at the moment.
Well, Sparks and Stanworth did put up something of a fight before going down 9-3. So, once more, we have to go into the 3rd set. Rejoin us for that in just a couple of minutes.
Harpic clean, Harpic fresh. Freshmatic clean. Harpic clean, Harpic fresh. Freshmatic clean. Harpic clean, Harpic fresh.
Freshmatic clean.
It's clean and it's fresh. And it's only from Harpic. Harpic clean, Harpic fresh. Freshmatically clean. Freshmatically fresh. Harpic Freshmatic.
Remember that succulent taste of a deep-basted butterball turkey? Well, now you can enjoy it more often because there's 100% turkey breast meat and no pork fat in the family-sized, family-priced butterball turkey breast roast.
Buy a butterball, they'll come bouncing back for more. Butterball, they'll come bouncing back for more.
Most colds mean 2 big miseries.
The stuffed up nose and sore throat.
This double problem needs double-action lockets. Penetrating menthol vapors help clear your stuffy nose, while the medicated liquid center soothes your sore throat. Soon you're feeling like yourself again.
That's better.
Double-action medicated lockets help clear your nose and soothe your throat in new menthol eucalyptus too.
Are you ready? Feeling good? Bounce to the beat and hit it.
You've got it made with new Bachelor's Slimmer Soup.
Stir to the left, stir to the right. Now let's taste it.
Richer, tastier than ever before. 40 calories that taste like more.
Arm up, head back, more, more.
You've got it made with new Bachelor's Slimmer Soup.
Ooh, that's tasting good. You're looking good now.
Bachelor's new Slimmer Soup.
I'm on my last legs. He's been out for an hour. Oh! I thought shopping was meant to be a pleasure. Oh, yeah.
Right, this is where we put our foot down. I've had enough.
Yeah, let's get over to home world. That's better. This is the way to do your armchair shopping.
Too right. Hey, Slippers would love all this, wouldn't they? Home world. Think twice before you go to town.
Welcome back to the third and decisive set in the last of this year's Midland Bank British Open Pairs quarterfinals. And we pick up the play with the score level at 1-all.
Quite a bit of draw on this mark. Coming off the crown. His pace looks good. Fair ball there. Malcolm Mitchell decided this time he's not going to be short. Perfect length. Difficult to say from this angle who's lying shot. Referee Will Folk having a look.
Pays your money and you takes your choice. Now, is it going to change with this delivery from Roger Stanworth?
Good ball coming in. Well played.
That's the one.
While we've been talking here, the blue ball in fact has fallen over, so they've only won.
Good try, but no change. John Sparks.
One down.
Yes, I think Roger turned his peg there and he tried to play the block through to leave them three, but got the line wrong.
If John can take that blue ball off the green, oh no, he's going to drop it in, or trying to drop it in. Yes, he may have two now, I don't know.
Made another one.
Yes, two.
Sorry? I thought you said something. Oh.
Now he's changed his peg again. Can he bend enough?
He's got something.
Can he do it? Oh, very unlucky.
So close. Two for the Welsh partnership of Stanworth and Sparks. And they've got a 3-1 lead here in this third set.
Of course, the important thing now is that Roger Stanworth has the jack and he's playing into the far corner. And this is where they played so well in the first set. Playing a thumb peg mark. And a good lead is essential here. Needs to run.
It's a fair opening ball for a mark of this distance. You've really got to push them out to get that away. It's around about 50 yards off in the far distance.
Oh, Roger's got this all wrong. He's narrowed there. Malcolm Mitchell is having trouble with his delivery. He turned his back on that one, but it's certainly a much better ball than his first, but he's still dreadfully short.
Discussion between the two senior officials of the little village bowls club near Mould. This is the captain, John Sparks, and his vice-captain down the far end, giving him some advice, Roger Stanworth.
Well, that was a very fortunate kiss for John Sparks.
Roger Crowther. Long way to go. Bill suddenly comes up over the crown.
He's certainly on the line. He's got to hit something.
Well. Oh.
Yard on your neck on your left one, John. Yes, that way. Yard on.
John Sparks electing to play the other peg again. Needs to run on.
Malcolm Mitchell inviting Roger Stanworth to come in down the other side. Cut that very, very tight. Is it? Roger Crowther to come down the other side. Is he going to stand up? Go, go, go! We have to wait for the bowlers to sort it out. And it is just a single to the red partnership of Stanworth and Sparks. So they score on 3 consecutive marks, and they now lead 4-1.
Sparks and Stanworth continued to pick up a shot per end before Mitchell and Crowther did something of a recovery. We rejoined it at 7-3 after a dead end.
So Malcolm Mitchell sets the block out. Up onto the crown.
Oh, he's left it this time. Giving Roger Stanworth a real chance here to play a good ball. He's not taking it up.
Malcolm so deadly on these marks. And the red ball was in the way for him. John Sparks up there to have a really good look, because if they can score 2 on this mark, they go into the semi-final.
He's played wide of the balls, trying to get round them, and he's done it. He's played a very good ball there.
Well, at this precise moment, the red partnership. Suckling are in. They're still in, I would think. John Sparks needs, because of his trade, a little bit of insurance here. That's what he does for a living, and this ball trying to drop it in the way. May have done so too.
Roger Crowther playing on the other peg.
And this to save the match.
Needs to miss.
No, he hasn't. The Reds, I think, have got the 2. Yes, they have. Roger Stanworth and John Sparks have got the 2 shots they want there to win this 3rd set. 9-3 to win the match. 9-1, 3-9, 9-3.
Victory then for the Mould pair, and an all-Welsh semi-final in prospect against Julian Parry and Gordon Carpenter from Denbigh. First, though, next week is the first semi-final between the Chester father and son combination of Brian and Kevin Whitlow against Tommy Rothwell and Jim Rowson from Lee. Join us then.
And Crown Green Bowls returns in 2 weeks' time.